Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you as always for tuning back in. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Leila, the Lenormand reader, and I use the amazing Lenormand deck. Have a look at the links that I have for you so you can explore and master this amazing deck. Welcome to your weekly reading. We are doing an extended line of 5 today with Titania's deck. Let's go ahead and start with you, Aries, and see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Aries, here is your extended line of 5. And as you can see, we have the beautiful star right in the center of your cross or your lines. And the star is a very beautiful, wish fulfilling and healing card. So it's really nice to see it. It's clearly a message that this is going to be a positive week. All of the cards are bright, including the tree, anchor, and flowers. The tower and man are neutral. And it's really just the clouds that is a little bit challenging. But it's really nice to see the flowers after it because it clearly tells of a resolution. Now, earlier we have the tree and anchor. These are really solid cards, Aries, and they tell you to stay with what you're doing, to stick where you are, as this is going to lead to some positive outcomes. There may be some doubts or some issues that come up, but these are going to be resolved. Now, the message that is coming through here is really supportive because it tells us that the doubts or the issues that can come up can cause you to question a little bit what you're doing. But with the tree, anchor, and star, it is definitely a message that you are on the right track, and the issues that are coming up are temporary and are just in the way of, a little bit in the way of your path. You're going to get them out of your way and you're going to find a positive solution. So don't feel distracted. Don't feel doubt. Don't put into question what you're doing. You are on the right track, Aries. So just solve the issues that come up and you'll soon overcome them. Now, another way we can read these cards is in terms of creativity. You see, the clouds is a card of the mind, and the flowers has a creative energy because it's associated with spring. And so when we see these cards together, it is a message that you ought to stick with what you're doing and to express your creativity and to have confidence in yourself. So give yourself some elbow room, Aries, to express and to do the things that you enjoy. Now, we have the tower and man on either side of the star. Clearly, with the star being a very bright card, this is a supportive relationship. The tower can refer to a couple of different things. The tower can first refer to things that are official, legal, work-related, those kinds of areas. And so if this is the context, the star and man suggests that someone supports you in this environment or in this context or for something that you're doing in these areas. The tower is also a card of the past and the long term. So it can mean that this is a long-standing relationship, a long-term relationship that is supportive. And it can also mean that the rest of the cards are about this person. So now taking this person back into the first line, there can be some issues that come up with this person. And when we look at the diamond around the star, it may well mean that. We have the anchor and tower and the man, and then on the right-hand side, we have the clouds, which points to some issues that come up. But again, the tower and anchor, just like the tree and anchor, they're very solid cards. They are unmoving cards, and they tell us that this is a solid relationship. The outer diamond is very bright. We have the tree and tower along with the flowers and man. So it's very clear that these issues are resolved and there is a positive renewal in the relationship and a positive connection. Also for the long term or also building on this past connection. So these are some really bright cards for a relationship and in general, Aries. And they tell us that whatever issues come up, they are temporary. Put them into perspective, you will soon overcome them. Don't let anything that comes up to be blown out of proportion, to make it bigger than it is. It is not. You are on the right track, Aries, and you just want to deal with this as it comes up. And when it comes to a person, the same idea applies. You have a strong and solid relationship here, so don't let any issues that come up put into question anything. You are on a solid path with this person, and you will find that there's a positive resolution. And if it is about creativity or expressing and finding avenues for things that you want to do, Aries, it's very likely that you get support to do this. So these are really nice cards across any context. And I have to add at this point, Aries, that we don't really see a context. We could get the work or practical or official kind of situation through the tower, but it's not in itself, as the only card that could point to an area. It's not much really to support this area in a final way. So it's flexible. These events and these dynamics, they apply in any context. The relationship can be a personal relationship, or it could be a relationship in another area. You could be looking at creativity in a personal area of your life, or at work, or in some other context. So the cards are flexible in this sense. The idea is that you don't be swayed by anything that comes up, because you are on a solid path. Issues are going to be resolved, and you have a solid relationship and a solid path forward. Let me know what you make of these ideas, Aries. I hope you resonate with them in this positive way. As always, I look forward to your thoughts and feedback. Very best of luck with the week. Thank you for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Hello, Taurus. Welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your extended line of 5 and see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Taurus, here is your extended line of 5, and I'm getting a general idea just from looking at the cards what could be going on. And let me tell you from the get-go, there seems to be some issues that come up somewhere in your life, whether it's work, home, or in some other context, and it calls for a conversation with someone in order to clarify the issues. We have the garden in the center. The garden is a social card. It is about people, places, networking, meetings, and gatherings. We have the woman and the bird on either side of the garden, which bring further support to this idea of people. And we have the house, which is also a card of location, and it can represent a certain environment. Now, what environment? This is going to be flexible, but my feeling is it's more about work, but it can apply to other contexts as well. So backing up here, we have the lily and mountain. And these two cards can represent a couple of things. First, there can be a blockage where it looks like things are not really going anywhere. And the reason is the mountain tends to be an obstacle card, and it tends to block things off. Whereas the lily is a card of life path and career. So it can feel like it's oppressing your growth and your development. So it's not really clear where you're heading, Taurus, and this could be part of what's causing you some frustration, and probably what calls for the conversation. Now, the garden with the mouse and house points to problems with people, or there's a negative environment or a stressful environment. And in alignment with the lily and mountain, it can also mean that there are, like you're losing interest, or you're sort of getting drained from this environment. Now, what this environment is, like I suggested, the lily can be a card of work and career. So this could be the area that you're focused on. But the lily is broader, and it can represent your life path in general. So the garden and house can represent any context. It could be a work environment with your team on the job. It could be some group of people that you hang out with. It could be your home, your family, or your extended family, and so on. There are many possibilities. In fact, they're endless. It depends on your situation. So if things are not really going anywhere, it can feel like you're blocked, and this could be frustrating. It can be a bit of a negative environment. Now, the woman with the garden and bird is a very clear and straightforward combination that tells us of a conversation with someone. So who this person is, again, is flexible, probably going to tie into this place. And I have two possibilities here. She or he could be someone whom you need to talk to in order to resolve these issues, or she could be part of the problem. And therefore, you need to clarify things with her and straighten things out. These two are possible. And again, who she is exactly is flexible, but clearly, since she figures in the cards, she's pretty relevant to the situation that you're going through, or this environment that you're in. So it does call for a conversation. And so I would say, Taurus, have the conversation regardless. Give it a chance to see if you can meet with this person to help resolve the issues, bring them up in order to straighten them out. Now, something else that comes to my mind is possibly if you're job hunting. If you're job hunting and looking for another job, you could be in for an interview. Maybe you're not too happy where you are. And the same can apply in other contexts. So if you're looking to make a change, or you're looking to make an adjustment away from a certain environment, you could consult someone who could maybe help you with a path forward. So these are possible. But it's very clear, Taurus, that in focus is a certain environment that you're not really happy with at this point, and you need some answers and talk things out. And so a meeting is called for. Now, the mountain with the woman, mouse, and bird suggests that this might not go all too well. I have to say. So the mouse and bird are not great. It's a bit of a negative combination, causes anxiety, doubts, mistrust. I also think that the person is not really sympathetic. So I'm not so sure you get the sympathy that you need or want. Still, I would still suggest that it's you ought to give this a chance and have a conversation. And also, Taurus, it's possible that it's not really up to you to have a conversation. That's possible. The lily with the woman, house, and bird is sort of similar. We don't have the mouse, which is a bit more negative, but it does point to a certain level of anxiety or discomfort within this environment. And also, it could be a gossipy kind of space, where there is talk and chatter and things like that. And because of the lily at the outset, I really feel, Taurus, that you're not too comfortable with the situation. It's not really sitting with you, and it's not really contributing to your path. Now, here's what's interesting about the line as well, Taurus, is that within the week, within this reading, within the boundaries of this reading, we don't really see what happens next. We're not really seeing a solution or a next set of steps for you. The focus is on this conversation and on getting a better sense of what's going on and bringing it up to the right person. So that's the main key for you this week. It's not the brightest of spreads, but it's also not very dramatic. But I do think, Taurus, that it is a good time to start getting these issues off your chest, at least starting with a conversation. So that's probably a positive step forward. Now, in terms of an interview or, talking to someone in order to get something like a project, a job opportunity, other avenues opening up for you, I'm not so sure they do. When you meet with this person, and you get a feel for this space and the connections here, I don't think it sits too well with you, Taurus, not from looking at these cards, but of course you're going to make the final judgment. Another suggestion to leave you with, Taurus, is don't rush and take the time to ask questions and try to be thorough or try to get to the bottom of things. But there's no need to rush and or to take any actions within the week. It sounds like this week it's more about understanding, talking, and getting a feel for the connections here. And then hopefully we'll see next week what you make of it. So take it easy and, try to be productive about it and start looking into what's going on and what you can do without necessarily expecting outright answers. Let me know what you make of this, Taurus. Let me know especially with what context this figured for you and what the issues were that you're trying to bring up to resolve, if you're willing to share. Thank you for tuning in, Taurus. As always, very best of luck with the week. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Hello, Gemini. Welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your extended line of 5 and see what is in store for you. Okay, Gemini, here is your extended line of 5, and it's looking really nice. It's great for a lot of things, or a few different things. It's really good for relationships. It's good for support. It's good for money. It's quite a strong and positive reading. The bear in the center is a card of strength and power. So just seeing it in the center really puts you in a position of strength and confidence. The mountain is similar in that it's quite a strong and solid card, so it can add to the energy of the bear. But the mountain is also a card with other layers, like it can sometimes point to obstacles and it can represent places abroad. Now, these cards are mostly neutral. The star is very bright, though. It is a very bright card. It is a card of healing and wish fulfillment, and it shines its light all throughout the layout, and it's going to connect with many cards here. So let's back up. We have the letter and ring. I typically take this to suggest a contract. So there can be an agreement and a contract. The bear can represent a boss in this sense. So maybe you are, you made an agreement with someone at work or in another situation, and you're dealing with the person who has that influence or that authority. And the bear can also suggest that this is an important move that you're making, an important agreement. The mountain can represent a place abroad, and actually the bear and mountain can suggest someone who is based abroad. And with the fish, we could be looking at a business opportunity or a financial commitment or a job or anything really that affects your practical life. So this is a really empowering line. You could land on a really good project, a really good involvement, and it probably has a strong and a positive financial aspect. So that's super. Now the ring can also represent a personal relationship. And in the other two cards here, we have the dog, and the dog is a card of a person. And so we could be looking at an important relationship, someone who gives you support. And the star, bear, and dog is very much about that, because this is someone who has your back. And the bear is a card of the senior, and the dog tends to be a junior. So you have someone who is more experienced or in a strong position here to support you. And it looks like they deliver, or they help you achieve your goals, and they answer your hopes. So these are really positive cards. You could also be the one, Gemini, who steps up to a position of power. You could, for example, get a promotion or an improvement of sorts if it's not something as big as a promotion. So these are really nice cards. You want to tap into this connection, into this relationship. You want to communicate and give and take and be there, because you're going to get their support, and you're probably going to get what you want as well. The ring with the star, mountain, and dog suggests that this very beautiful relationship materializes, and it can be abroad or with someone away or in a different location. That's possible. But also, in case the mountain represents an obstacle, which it sometimes can, I do think that the star is going to help dissolve this. And just with a bit of patience and also with support, you'll be able to overcome whatever obstacles come through the mountain. I'm not really inclined to see the mountain as an obstacle card, but it is possible in some scenarios. The letter with the star, fish, and dog is great for money. There can be some very good news with regards to money. It can be with the support of a friend here, or perhaps it's a customer or a collaboration. All of these are possible. But regardless of the specific news and who it's coming from and who this person is specifically for you, Gemini, it looks like it carries a very beautiful message of prosperity. So really nice cards in here. Now, in terms of a personal relationship, I have to say that's also quite possible, Gemini, because the ring and dog suggests a love relationship that is growing out of a friendship. So it's possible that now you have an opportunity to connect and to grow closer together. Perhaps there is an element of distance involved as well, and you find a way to connect through that. Or there could have been some obstacles and you're able to overcome them. So the whole layout is warming, and there's a soft and kind energy despite the strength of the bear and mountain. These are good opportunities, a warm relationship, and probably quite a lot of opportunity, hopefully, for you, Gemini. So I would say connect and step up to this. Be open to welcome the progress and the opportunities this week, Gemini, for sure. And also lend a shoulder, be supportive, do your part, to be a good friend and a good support to whoever this person is. Let me know what you make of these cards. As always, I look forward to your thoughts and feedback. Very best of luck with the week. Thank you for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Hello, Cancer. Welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your extended line of 5 and see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Cancer, here is your extended line of 5. And we do have the heart and scythe at the end of the line, which can point to a heartbreak. Now, I have to question how much this is happening to you as opposed to you doing it to someone. And the reason I say that is mainly because of the middle column. In the middle, we have the book. The book is a card of secrets normally. It is also a card of knowledge and learning and research and all of that stuff. But with the scythe and the stork, this is more about revelation and sharing news. And it probably comes suddenly and unexpectedly, which could be part of why there is a bit of a heartbreak here. Now, earlier, We have the star with the ship. This is a beautiful combination. This is a path opening up, a journey opening up, efforts bearing fruit. You're seeing the results of your efforts, and the projects are picking up. And it can also point to travel. So you could have a journey that is in the cards for you. And the thing about the book is that you're not really telling anyone about it, or it's a secret for the time being. And then we've got the heart and scythe, and you probably announce it, and it can cause a bit of a difficulty for others around you. I'm suggesting this is one scenario. So you've got changes that are coming up, and you're sort of keeping them under your hat, or you have been. And this week, it can be a time for revealing this. Now, of course, it can be a different reading. And it can mean that your hopes do not really materialize, at least not this week, Cancer. So you're hoping for a journey to open up here. You've got your heart set on a specific path or a specific project, or even a learning journey. But with the heart and scythe, it doesn't materialize. Now, the Tower with the book and stork is, again, another suggestion of a revelation and changes, things coming out. So the stork and scythe are active cards that bring about changes, and they are sharp changes, especially in the case of the scythe. So when we see these cards with the book, there's like an opening and there's a revelation. Now, the Tower can mean a couple of different things. It can mean a card of things that are official, legal, administrative, and things like that. And maybe you've been pursuing a certain path in this area. It can also refer to learning and knowledge at higher levels, usually with a card like the Tower and book, or this combination. And it can also point to a long period of time, the past, and things like that. So things that have been stretching out over time. Now, when we see the Tower, book, and stork, it can mean a few things. First, it can be news in this legal admin area. It can also point to news coming through after a time of waiting, or perhaps you'd been sitting on it and not sharing. And so in either context, with the book and stork, there's this energy of things picking up and news being shared. So in terms of any legal process or any process you've been pursuing with the heart and scythe, it can mean that it's disappointing and the feedback is not what you want it to be. Or it can mean that you make an announcement that affects other people in a challenging way. So these are the two scenarios that I'm seeing through these cards, and they can figure in these contexts. Mainly seems to be in a more professional, admin, legal kind of way. Yes, we do have the heart and scythe, but we're not necessarily seeing personal relationships here. Now, the ship with the Tower, heart, and stork is lovely. It points to pursuing a path that you want for the long term. You could also have been working on it for some time. And the star with the Tower, scythe, and stork bring welcome changes. There is a release, and there is definitely a sense of freedom. There is a release from the past, and with the beautiful star, it is all around wish fulfillment and healing. So that was my feeling from the beginning, Cancer, is that despite the heart and scythe, I feel it's more about you. It's not really something happening to you. I think you now have an opportunity to let go and to make a change. You get the green light. You've been waiting on it. You've been sitting on it. And you now have an opportunity for change. So I think this decision on your part to make a change, to pursue an objective that is more aligned with your hopes and your ambitions, this can affect other people negatively. And in case this is disappointing for you, it is still an opportunity, Cancer, to make a change and move on. So with the book and Tower and this path that you've been pursuing, it sounds like you've given it enough time. No matter the outcome at this point, Cancer, I would say embrace change, let go, and move on. And hopefully it's something that you've been wanting to do, and you're announcing it, even though it affects people potentially in a challenging way. But regardless, Cancer, you do want to maintain this opportunity, and this mindset that keeps you open to change and to what's ahead. So there can be potentially some bigger changes here. And let me know, Cancer, in what context this is figuring. I'm not really seeing relationships, but in case it is, maybe you are moving on from someone. This is possible. More broadly speaking, you could be making a bigger change in your life or moving on from a certain situation that has taken enough time at this point. So that's to say, I look forward to your thoughts about what context you feel this is figuring for you. And also let me know if you're happy to move on at this point, Cancer, if you're willing to embrace the change and let go. I look forward to your thoughts as always. Thank you for tuning in. Very best of luck with the week. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Hello, Leo. Welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your extended line of 5 and see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Leo, look at this extended line of 5. We have the man and woman on either side of the star. We have the key at the beginning of the line and the road, which can go in a couple of opposite directions even, and the mouse, which is a little bit challenging. Now, obviously, the man and woman bring up a relationship. Usually, this is a love relationship when both of them show up, but it can be any other. And the star in the center is a beautiful card. It is a card of healing and all-around wish fulfillment. So clearly this is going to affect your relationship, and I think it's going to affect it in a positive way despite the mouse and road. So let's go ahead and start at the outset here. We have the key with the man and star. Clearly this brings a wonderful thing happening, an opportunity, something that you want materializes. It could be a green light, the relationship working out. And with the woman and road after the star, it looks like you move forward in this relationship. Now, the reason I said the road can go in opposite ways is that the road is about coming or parting. So it can be coming together or going separate ways. And in relationships, the road tends to be a bit more independent. It doesn't like to be tied down. And so it tends to be more about leaving. But I'm not inclined to suggest that the road means that in this context, because we have the key and star earlier in the line, and these are two very bright cards, and they are immediately adjacent to the relationship cards. So I'm not inclined to say that this is a separation. Now, we have the stork and mouse on either side of the star, and the mouse can be a little bit challenging, but not challenging enough for the beautiful star. So the stork and star does suggest wish fulfillment and things picking up in a positive way, and the mouse can mean that there are a few issues, a few bumps that come up, but it is not a deal breaker at all, because the mouse is not very challenging. It's a little bit challenging, whereas the star is very positive. Now, we look at the man with the stork and woman with the mouse. Things pick up between the two. And yes, there are some issues. And also with the key, stork, and mouse and road, there are a few bumps along the way. There are some bumps down the line. But the key remains a bright card, and the star remains a very positive card. So the relationship picks up, things move forward, and it is a relationship that you want, and the connection between you is really positive, Leo, but there are a few bumps down the line. But again, these are small bumps, and I don't think they turn around the very positive energy of the key and star. So if you're seeing that there are issues that come up, Leo, I would say hold on to the relationship, work through these issues, and you will soon overcome them. The relationship seems to be personal, but it doesn't have to be. It can be another relationship in your life. It could be a professional relationship, it could be a family relationship, or something else in some other area of your life. We do not have indications from these cards, Leo, in what context they figure. So really it's going to come down to your specifics. So let me know in the comments what relationship this is, and what is picking up between the two of you, and what the issues are down the line. So a pretty straightforward spread. Focus on this person for the week, make room for this connection. And maybe you're going places together. So again, make room for this. Give and take with the relationship. And again, Leo, if there are issues that come up, be patient with them. They are not deal breakers. So let me know what you make of this. As always, I look forward to your thoughts and feedback. Let me know what the issues were and what this relationship is. I'm kind of curious to know if you're willing to share. Thank you for tuning in, Leo. Very best of luck with the week. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Hello, Virgo. Welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your extended line of 5 and see what is in store for you. Okay, Virgo, here is your extended line of 5, and it's looking generally positive. Actually, it's quite positive. We have the sun, flowers, and the key, and these are really bright cards. We have the mouse in the middle, and we have the cross in the bottom in this column, and these can be a little bit challenging. With the fish, which is a card of money and resources, and it's also a card of work, there can be some expenses that you have to deal with. There can be some responsibilities that are burdening you, and this sort of thing that is weighing on you in the practical side of things. But it looks like you overcome this because we've got the mouse, like we said, in the middle, and we have the beautiful sun and flowers, and then road and key on the other side. So the sun and flowers are a very beautiful, very positive pair. This is a great pair for just about anything. It's great for healing, it's great for wish fulfillment, it's great for creativity and expression, and for success, making things happen. Now, the mouse gets in your way, there are bumps, there are little issues that come up, and also as it intersects with the column, there can be some expenses, responsibilities, and things like that that could drain you a little bit. But with the beautiful key on the other side of the road, it tells us that you are going to recover from this, you're going to overcome these issues, and you are on the right track. So don't let these issues that come up, Virgo, distract you or cause you to fear anything or to have doubt in your path. You are on the right track. You just have to manage some expenses, some resources, your time maybe, and your work, and this practical side of this whole affair, and you'll be on your way to resolving it. Now the flowers with the fish, road, and cross is lovely. First, the cross and road can point to crossroads. So there can be a change here or a decision that you need to make. This could also be part of the difficulty that we see with the mouse. And with the flowers and fish, it can be in the area of work, in the area of business, or some project that you're pursuing. So you could be in for an important decision, but also, Virgo, I think you are in for an opportunity. A path opens up, an opportunity opens up. You have an opportunity here to move ahead with your goals, your projects, put your work out there, and so on. So these are really nice cards for this. The sun with the fish, key, and cross are also a really powerful set of cards. The cross and key has a bit of a spiritual undertone because each of these cards have that, but then together they bring it out. And this can also point to, so it can point to this element of being aligned and pursuing things that are meaningful to you. And also they can point to this decision process or juncture that you're at. And obviously with the key at the end, you're going to make the right decision. The sun and fish are great for finances, abundance, and prosperity. So from that angle, any of these challenges that we saw with the mouse are hopefully going to be recovered soon enough. This is also a great set of cards for a business opportunity or some other kind of work-related, usually it's work and business-related opportunities when it comes to the fish. This is also great for doing well financially, recovering financially, maybe finding a new source of income or improving your situation as a whole. So these are really nice cards, Virgo. You are in a position to solve problems. They don't seem to be big problems, I have to say, but you're in a position to solve them in order to turn the situation around for the better and even for the much better. And also this could be a point of choice where you have to make a decision about an opportunity that comes your way. It seems to me you're going to make the right choice, or you're going to take up this opportunity despite any of the challenges. Prepare for a bit of work, though, I have to say. Maybe there's a bit more weight on you as you move forward with this, but still, I would say go with it. Virgo, it's looking really bright for you, your money, your work, your projects, your creative ventures, in any area, really, this is great. We're not really seeing people cards. I'm not so sure there's the relationship element that comes through. Of course, we have people in every area of our life, but I mean in a more personal sense, Virgo, we're not really saying this. So focus on your goals, your path, and making the right decision, overcoming any challenges with your money or something else, and put yourself on this path that seems to be meant to be. So let me know what you make of these ideas, Virgo. I hope you see this as exciting. I certainly think it is. Let me know in what context this played out, if there were financial issues or other issues that you needed to resolve. As always, I look forward to your thoughts and feedback. Very best of luck with the week. Thanks for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Hello Libra, welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your extended line of 5 and see what is in store for you. Okay Libra, here is your extended line of 5. It's quite an interesting spread because we have very bright cards and we have the Whip, which is a challenging card. And the Whip and Bird stands out here because it can point to gossip and it can point to an argument. So these are going to come in contrast with the rest of the line here. Now in the center we have the Key. The Key is a very bright card. It's one of the brightest cards and it points to opportunities and also problem solving, which is going to come in handy for dealing with this argument or the issue that comes up here. Now backing up to the beginning of the line, we have the Garden and Fish, and this points to a business environment or a work environment. It can also point to the marketplace. And with the Key, you have an opportunity. So this is great for putting your work out there, taking your projects to market, or maybe you're selling something or you're in business for yourself. It can also be great for jobs, your career in general, and networking towards these goals. So these are good opportunities for you in the marketplace. It's a good time to network, to connect, because you could get a customer, for example, or a business opportunity, or even find a job or do things within your job that are good for you. Now the Flowers and Bird is great for communication. Yes, the Bird can be a bit difficult. It can be an anxious card, a chattery card, and things like that. But with the Flowers, it's great for creativity and expression. And we have the Garden and Bird on the two ends of the line. And it really focuses on communicating with others, being out there, socializing, networking. So there's lots of opportunities in this regard. Now, the column includes the Whip. We have the Moon, Key, and Whip. And there could be a couple of scenarios that come through. The first one that comes to mind is an opportunity or an offer or an invitation. So the Moon is a card of offers, but and the Key is usually good. I might have suggested that you take up this offer, but we do have the Whip, so it might be better to turn it down. And we're going to see this as well in the outer diamond, which we should do right away. The Garden with the Moon and Bird and Whip. So the Garden and Moon can be an invitation, an offer into this environment, and the Bird and Whip can point to turning it down, just like we saw in the middle column. So we have, these two cards and these cards here. The other thing is that the Bird is about conversations, and so there can be a disagreement with someone. The thing about the Key is that it encourages you to be clear about what you want, Libra, so that if you feel you don't want to go with this, don't go with it. And if you have options and choices here, you want to go with the opportunity that works best for you, that aligns with you, and others you're going to have to turn down. I also suspect that there can be difficult people in this environment. So while you have some popularity and you're doing well within this environment, networking or reaching out into the market and things like that, well, the Bird and Whip can bring up these naysayers and the more difficult types who are not so welcoming of what you're offering. So these are possibilities. But despite this combination and the Whip specifically, Libra, I still encourage you to pursue the projects that make sense to you, and whatever problems or confrontations come up, you deal with them as they go, because this is quite an opportunity for you to expand and grow and do well for yourself. They're great cards for your creative projects, for finding solutions, for taking your work to market, even getting a job and doing well. So I guess that there's always a mixed bag of people, wherever you are, so you can expect that. And you're going to be in a good position to confront this and deal with it. We can also look at the inner diamond. We didn't look at this yet. We have the Fish, Moon, Flowers, and Whip. So again, this can be an offer. And the thing about the Flowers and Whip is that it can appear to be good, but it's not necessarily good. And so these would be bright cards, but because of the whip, it changes the energy of the line or the diamond. And the fish and whip can point to financial troubles, and the fish and flowers can point to disappointments or even deception. And the reason I say that is because the flowers tends to be beautiful and pretty and kind, but when we see the whip and also the bird next to it, there can be a flip side that comes through. So these are some possibilities that you are facing up to, Libra, in this environment. But again, you should really focus on what you can do. You should focus on your creativity, what you offer, empowering yourself, getting a good job, getting good collaborations, and doing all of these good activities that forward your projects and your ambitions. And then when these issues come up, you deal with them. And also, if you have choices, just turn down what doesn't work for you and focus on what does work for you. Now, in terms of personal relationships, we are seeing relationships in the cards because there's the bird, which is a card of conversation, and the garden, which is very much about community. But I'm not seeing so much the one-on-one personal relationships, Libra. So this is more about your community or this environment, and this should be the focus for you this week. So let me know what you make of these ideas. I look forward to learning from you what this challenge was in the face of all of this positive effort that you're putting out there and how you dealt with it. I'd be really interested to know if you're willing to share. So thank you for tuning in, Libra, as always. Very best of luck with the week. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your extended line of 5 and see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Scorpio, here is your extended line of 5, and it wraps up with the coffin. So we are looking at an ending, but I'm not seeing that this is a fallout or a difficult ending or the need to let go. Instead, I'm seeing that this is a positive completion, a successful conclusion, and you seem to be wrapping something up this week. We see this through the progression of the cards. In the center, we have the bear. The bear is great for being strong and empowered, and also for being influential and authoritative. So it sounds like this completion and this successful closure of the project or whatever it is you're pursuing is going to put you in a position of power. And we certainly see this through the star, which is a very bright card. So let's back up to the beginning of the line. We have the cross and ship and bear. And it's very clear that you need to bear your cross and keep moving forward with this project until you bring it to an end. The ring is a card of relationships, but it's also a card of commitments. So it is a card of continuity and repetition often. And with the coffin, it's really about wrapping up this connection and this involvement. So you want to work on this until you bring it to a close, put in the effort until you can bring it to a conclusion. And hopefully you can do this within the week, Scorpio. I mean, it would be exciting to wrap it up, I would think. The house and star on either side of the bear can mean a few different things. The house represents any space. Usually it's home and family, but it can represent any space. And the bear and star can mean that you're quite popular and appreciated, and you sort of stand out. It's like you're shining within this environment. And it's pretty obvious to me that it's this successful completion, your strength, your ability to carry things through to conclusion, that puts you in this position of power and appreciation. It is also worth noting that the house and bear can represent parents, because classically in Lenormand, the house is the father and the bear is the mother. And when they show up, it can represent, your family home or your parents. So in this sense, there seems to be a really good relationship here. Looking at the main line in this context can mean maybe that you leave or you travel, and you spend time with your parents this week and then you part ways. That's possible. There's a very, very good energy here in all cases. So a really nice set of cards that enable you to bring something to conclusion, that can elevate you and empower you. The ship with the house, ring, and star is great for home relationships, other relationships, and also for moving forward with your projects, continuing to build on this solid foundation that you have. These are potentially cards of travel as well. So the ship is a card of travel, and the coffin can be a card of absence. So maybe you're going away and going places and taking time out. That is possible. And it's possible that you do this to go see someone. Maybe you're connecting with certain people, or you are spending time with them and then going off, leaving. The cross with the house, coffin, and star, another indication of an absence and a completion. And certainly with the star, it is a very successful conclusion. The cross can be a bit heavy. Like I said, you bear your cross, especially when they come together. So it does call Scorpio for effort and, just putting up with this until you wrap it up. It looks like the light is at the end of the tunnel and you're almost done with this, and it's going to feel really good when you do wrap it up, and it's going to feel really rewarding. And I think you could receive also a good dose of appreciation. So really nice cards for a wonderful conclusion, especially when it comes to the work that you're pursuing. In terms of relationships, the relationships also look great, Scorpio. It's just that maybe you are, you've spent time together and you're going away, or maybe you're going places together. But it's definitely a good time to wrap things up and move on and bring things to a close, and turning the page within the next week or so looks to be a good idea. Hopefully you can manage this closure this week. So the cards can play out in different contexts. It could be a work thing, it could be a relationship thing, but the idea is pretty supportive. First, there's a really good connection here, and maybe you're just going away or taking time out. And in terms of this thing that you're wrapping up, it can be really rewarding, and you're definitely encouraged, to pursue this completion. So really nice cards. Let me know what you make of them, Scorpio, how you feel about this. Is there something that you are wrapping up or that you can wrap up this week? I encourage you to do that. It's going to feel rewarding. In terms of relationships, looks like you have good connections with home, family, other people. So spend good time together, and when it's time to leave, let it go and turn the page. Let me know what you make of this, Scorpio. As always, I look forward to your thoughts and feedback. Thank you for tuning in. Very best of luck with the week. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your extended line of 5 and see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Sagittarius, here is your extended line of 5, and it's pretty clear what's going on here. You are going to try to get away from something that you want to avoid. And it's probable that you ought to avoid this because we have the snake in the center. We don't only have the snake, which is often a card of deception, especially when it comes to people, and we do have a person card, but we also have the road, mouse, and stork, and this tells us that you need to move away from something that isn't good for you. Now, what is that thing? It sounds like it's coming from a person here, and the letter suggests an invitation or some kind of proposal, or maybe a conversation or some kind of exchange with this person. And with the snake and mouse, it sounds like you want to avoid this. And with the book, you could maybe not respond or even follow up. That is possible. So within the week at least, it sounds like you're moving away and getting away from this person. Now, the book is also a card of knowledge, and when we see it with the mouse and snake, there can be aspects of this communication that are not clear and that are not revealed, so you're having doubts about this. And it's also a warning that there can be hidden things. So have a look twice, Sagittarius, definitely before you make any decision. And it sounds like at least within the week, you're gonna not respond or move away from this. The road with the snake and stork is very much a confirmation, and actually even more so because the road and stork are both movement cards. And it's very clear that you are getting away from this person, from their suggestion, or from the conversation with this person. Now, let me add, Sagittarius, that who this person is, we don't really see from the cards what context, if this is someone like a friend or a personal relationship or a colleague or someone else in your life. The dog is, in general, it's a card of friends. It's about friendships, and it is also about colleagues, anyone in your peer group, even siblings and people like that. So check in and consider who the dog might be in your specific context, and these cards are really clear. So the road with the snake and stork is very much about moving away, turning away. The dog and snake also puts into question the character of this person, Sagittarius, and this could be the main reason why you move away from this person. The dog with the road, mouse, and stork adds to this. It sounds like this is someone who's flaky and who's not really committed. And again, we're seeing that you are moving away from this person. It's not smooth with this person. It's not clear. You know, there's maybe the intentions are not there and you don't really feel the whole thing. So again, it's a good idea to move away. The letter with the road, book, and stork is similar, but the letter and book emphasizes this element of the communication or the paperwork or the agreement or anything that is an exchange between you and this person. And it certainly highlights the fine print. And because we have the snake and mouse, it does bring out this idea of things not being clear, that there are hidden aspects and probably also misleading aspects. So it's very clear what we're seeing in your card, Sagittarius, that you could have some interaction or a proposal or an invitation from someone or some kind of offer with this person, but you're going to move away from it and probably avoid it altogether. And the reasons are, you know, because it's not clear, it's not aligned with you, and there could be some hidden aspects. So it's definitely a helpful warning kind of message here that tells you to at least consider it for the week and not do anything about it within the week. So see if you can avoid this and maybe look into it. But I think the bottom line, Sagittarius, is going to be that you move away from this person. So let me know what you make of this, Sagittarius, who this person was for you, what the issue was. I'd be really interested in your perspective. Very best of luck with the week. Thank you for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Okay, Capricorn, let's get into your weekly reading. Let's draw your extended line of 5 and see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Capricorn, here is your extended line of 5. It's looking pretty bright all around. There's a sense of being in a place abroad with the anchor and mountain. Maybe you've got a base in another location, so that could come into focus. But also the cards are great for feeling strong, confident, moving forward with your projects and doing positive things. The anchor is a card of strength and confidence, and it is also a card of stability. And so it's also going to ask you to stick with what you're doing, stay where you are, because things are moving in the right direction. So earlier here we have the house, star, and anchor. So you could be feeling really good at home or in a certain location. With the mountain and flowers, you could be returning to a certain place. Maybe it's abroad or farther from where you are. And so it feels really good, and you could be feeling really stable and happy. These are really good cards for any location. So it could be like a work environment or a group that you're part of, maybe a home that you have elsewhere. So the location as such is flexible. It depends on your specific situation. But it certainly looks like it's a really good foundation to feel good, to be productive, for healing, and all around happiness, because the star and flowers are very beautiful cards. Now, the moon with the anchor and rider are also really bright. The moon is a card of offers, usually in invitations. And with the rider, it could add to that because the rider is a card of a messenger. So you could get a welcome invitation, a warm invitation into this space or this situation. The moon, anchor, and rider are also good suggestions for pursuing the path that you're on, keeping with what you're doing, and pursuing your goals. And also, they ask you not to be swayed away from your goals, not to be distracted. So stay firm on your path, Capricorn, because things are on the right track and looking really productive. So really nice cards. The star with the moon, mountain, and rider are similar. There's a very positive invitation, a very positive situation, and also there could be an element of travel with the rider and mountain, or there could be this good news that comes through. And the house, moon, flowers, and rider further adds to this, suggesting that there's very positive news, very positive steps forward, and really good progress. The rider and house is also often a visitor. So maybe you're visiting someone in this location, Capricorn, or they are coming to you, or there's some kind of opportunity to be together. So really nice cards all around, Capricorn. They bring a sense of belonging, a sense of good foundation, stability, and feeling good where you are. So really bright cards. Now, they don't really tell us specifically in what context. Like I suggested, you could have a home or maybe family in another location. It could be your work that feels really cohesive and supportive, or it could be any other environment in your life that brings that. We're not really seeing one-on-one relationships or love relationships and these sorts of connections, but there's still a really good foundation for feeling like you belong, feeling stable on a solid foundation. And also the cards advise you to stick around for the time being, stick with what you're doing and build on it, and to be productive and pursue your objectives. And there can also be some really good news coming through. So really nice cards all around. They're quite flexible, Capricorn. They can apply in all sorts of different contexts. You let me know where you feel they are relevant the most in your situation. As always, I look forward to your thoughts and feedback. Thank you for tuning in, Capricorn. Very best of luck with the week. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Okay, Aquarius, let's get into your weekly reading. Let's draw your extended line and see what is in store for you. Okay, Aquarius, here is your extended line. It's a little bit challenging, but it is focused on change. And this really comes through the central column. We have the tree in the middle, which is a card of being settled and, being in your space, in your zone. But with the scythe and ship, they really call for a change. In fact, the scythe and tree is very much about uprooting. So it's clear that you need to change the things that you're doing and the way that you're doing them. And the ship is also a travel and movement card, and it can point to changes of direction with the previous cards. So this is going to be in focus for you, Aquarius, where you need to do things differently. Now, earlier here with the star and clouds, it can be a reason, it gives us an insight into the reason why you need to make changes. The clouds sort of cloudies the star a little bit, and the stars are about your wishes and your hopes. So it sounds like what you are pursuing is not really working out, and so you need to change your approach. And this is what's encouraged here. Now, you can take time to think about this, but I think with the scythe and ship, you need to also be active and make a change in your approach if you want to see your goals materializing. The bird and mountain can be also about travel. The bird tends to represent shorter travels, whereas the ship and mountain are longer term or longer or, are farther away. So all of these are possible. And, the sort of travels, it's going to be flexible. And you might not even travel at all, but the message here could be about going places, asking questions, seeking answers, and being active and proactive about what you need to do, what you need to change in order to see your goals materialize. The bird and mountain can also suggest a conversation with someone who's abroad or online, or there can be some online discussions and things like that. So that's going to be key for you to make changes. But you certainly seem to be a bit stuck, and the ship and scythe on either side of the tree are going to help you to unstuck yourself. Of course, it's in your hands, Aquarius. You need to think about this, and you also need to take action. Now, the clouds with the scythe, bird, and ship can be a little bit challenging here. This could be a difficult conversations or things not going well, and the need to break through confusion. So it adds to what we've said already, but this triplet here is a little bit more dramatic. It's still really nice to see the ship at the bottom because it tells us that you are going to move forward and move past these blockages. The star with the scythe, mountain, and ship is also another indication that you need to break through obstacles and blockages. The mountain is at the end of the line, and it can be an obstacle card. So it can be still in with the works within the week, Aquarius, and it does demand effort on your part. But the ship is really nice, and the star really helps you with this, a good dose of optimism in order to break through the challenges and move forward. And the thing about the tree in the center is that it calls on you to think about this and to ponder what is not really working and what is it that needs to change. And once you have that insight, Aquarius, you need to take action and move forward, make changes, move past blockages, and unstuck yourself. Now, the context in which this is happening, I would think has to do with some projects or maybe something at work. I'm not really seeing personal cards, people cards, one-on-one relationships. We're not seeing this in your cards. So it does seem to affect, the way you're doing things right now, or within a certain situation, like on the job or on a project or some other aspect of your life. But it's not so much about personal one-on-one relationships. Let me know what you make of this, Aquarius. Let me know what the issue was and what you're going to do, hopefully, to change your approach to move forward. As always, I look forward to your thoughts and feedback. Very best of luck with the week. Thank you for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Okay, Pisces, let's get into your weekly. Let's draw this extended line of 5 and see what is in store for you. Okay, Pisces, here is your extended line of 5, and it's looking really interesting and also pretty bright. Even though we have the whip and mouse, we do have the clover in the middle of all of this. And the clover is a very lucky card. When I see the clover with challenging cards, it typically points to a blessing in disguise or something that you're able to turn around to your advantage. And we have the fish in the cards, which is great for money. So hopefully this is positive for your finances and your prosperity. Let's see what's going on here. We have the mouse and tower, and then it's followed by the clover. This tells us, Pisces, that you'd been working on something that had been dragging and things could have taken a lot of time. But it sounds like with the clover and fish, they finally pay off, and they pay off with your money, your finances, and prosperity. The dog can be a colleague or a customer or a collaboration in the context of work and money. So maybe you can, improve your success in this regard. And this looks to be a welcome result after this dragging long-term situation. So it sounds like you've been working on this and it's been tiring you. And finally here, there's a payoff. Certainly with the tower and clover, it encourages you to stick with it a while longer because you're about to see the light at the end of the tunnel and actually see results, not just the light. So that's really positive. Now, the tower can also represent official environments, places like workplaces, organizations, and, more formal kind of settings. So this could affect your work, for example, in terms of your employment or another administrative kind of area in your life. And this thing that had been dragging materializes and probably has some financial rewards for you. The dog, like I said, can be people like customers, colleagues, collaborators, and so they can be part of this success here. But they could also be someone helpful, someone who help you, with improving this situation here. Now, the whip is a challenging card, and the cross can be challenging, certainly with other challenging cards. But with the clover, the idea is really to turn this around. And it sounds like you're going to know what to do. The clover and cross and even the tower, they have a bit of a spiritual kind of side. And so together they can emphasize an element of guidance and the signs, and being guided towards a solution. And so when the problem or the issue comes up, first, you're going to be able to solve it. And second, don't be taken, don't lose control. Don't lose your ground, Pisces. You've got what it takes to deal with it. And it can certainly be a situation that you turn around to your advantage. So that's looking bright, and it sounds like you also have a pretty strong and optimistic attitude that's going to help you, take advantage of this and turn it around to your benefit. The tower with the whip, fish, and cross is adding to what we saw. There's a long-standing situation here that you need to shake out and deal with. And with the fish and cross, it's in order to support you with your finances. And the cross can also point to some important decisions, Pisces. So you might be at a juncture where you need to take action and make a decision about something, and it affects your finances. So be on top of this. Don't let this slide in any way, Pisces. And remember that you have the clover at your center here that's going to help you deal with this. Now, the cross with the mouse, whip, and dog can be a little bit challenging as well, because we have both the mouse and whip together, the mouse and cross together, and the whip and dog. This can point to a disagreement with someone. And it can also suggest that you let someone go, or that you let go of this person, or you move away from whatever path you have with them. To me, it seems like it's more on the business side, but it can be something personal as well. And so this could be part of the big decision that you are making this week, Pisces, and it can take effort. But I want to emphasize the need to be on top of this, and also the need to be straightforward with it. So don't delay, don't wobble, don't hesitate, don't worry. Shake out what needs to be shaken out. If it's a person or a situation, deal with the confrontation or the issues that come up. And I would say put yourself first. You need to protect your finances, and you need to protect your path and your work and your whole situation. So you need to take some actions that are going to support that. And I also think more generally, there's an energy of change where it's helping you align with a longer term path of prosperity with the Tower, Clover, and Fish. So you're making adjustments, and they could be deep ones, and they could be, let's say, loud ones, if you like, that you need to go through in order to bring this path of success to materialize. So I do feel there's a general mode of change, adjustments, restructurings, and reprioritizing in order to bring out the prosperity that is clearly in your cards. So interesting cards, I have to say, Pisces. I really look forward to your feedback on this, what you made of these cards, and what is the issue that came up, and hopefully this prosperous path that is opening up for you. Let me know if you're willing to share. Thank you for tuning in, Pisces. Very best of luck with the week as always. And until next time, take very good care of yourself.